Welcome to Reimagining Autism, the Consciousness Matrix. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Sunena Pandé, and I'm honored to be here with you today. I hold a PhD in metaphysical parapsychology, which means I've spent years studying the deep connections between consciousness, spiritual realms, and the human mind. I'm also a prolific author of self-help books for adults and for children. But beyond the academic titles, my true passion lies in helping people unlock their own consciousness in ways they never thought was possible. In my work, I coach people through a practice rooted in ancient wisdom, something we call Netra Sparsha in Sanskrit. That's about touching the eye of consciousness and awakening your inner vision to see beyond the physical world and access the deeper truths within. Now, let me ask you, have you ever been sitting in a meeting or a class only to suddenly realize that your mind has drifted off somewhere far away? You're not asleep, but you're definitely no longer present. If that's you, type daydream believer in the comments below. You can relate to that. Today, I want to take you on a journey, but not the kind where you're zoning out during emails. This is a journey that bridges ancient wisdom with modern neurodiversity, where boundaries of consciousness aren't just blurred, they're shattered. And at the heart of this lies something very important: how we understand autism. Let me start with a story about my grandfather from the 1970s. He lived in a small, remote village in India. Every morning, he would buy the best mangoes, golden treasures in India, slice them with military precision, and feed them to us with the serenity of a nature documentary. And then he'd vanish into his room, meditating for hours. I could look through a peephole and see him sitting in lotus posture for hours. As a child, I never understood why he would opt to be so solitary when there were mangoes to eat and kids to play with. But as I got older, I realized something profound. He wasn't just meditating, he was traveling to realms of peace and stillness beyond anything I could comprehend at that time. If you've ever had a relative who seems to have a secret superpower, type superpower in the comments below. So fast forward to today, I'm now raising my neurodivergent daughter in a world that loves labels. Inattentive, stimming, not paying attention. From the age of 2, she's struggled to be present with us, to give eye contact, to participate. She can talk, but chooses not to. She's often very clearly in her own world. But what if, like my grandfather, she's also traveling? What if her natural state, what society tries to correct, is her way of accessing deeper realms of consciousness that we don't yet understand? While my grandfather's meditative states were considered sacred, My daughter's repetitive movements, what the experts call stimming, are labeled as behaviors that need to be fixed. How many of you have been misunderstood or expected to change something about yourself to fit into society's mold? If you can relate, type "not broken" in the comments. This realization led me to a powerful question. What if neurodivergent individuals like my daughter are accessing different states of consciousness? The real question then isn't how do we fix this, but what are we missing here? This led me to the consciousness matrix, which is a term that I use to describe the vast range of consciousness states that we all have the potential to access. You see, consciousness isn't just one channel. It's like having Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max all at the same time. The ancient texts of India, the Upanishads, speak of 4 states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and turiya, a state of pure consciousness. And if that wasn't enough to blow your mind, there's even a 5th state called turiyatita, or beyond the 4th. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Neurodivergent people, like my daughter, often seem to access these other states of consciousness naturally. The dreaming state, swapna, is where imagination runs wild. And in my daughter's world, the rules of waking life are more like suggestions. Somebody might call that distraction, but what if it's simply another way of being aware? If this is blowing your mind, type "mind blown" in the comments. So let's zoom out for a moment and talk about the world we don't see, the vastness of reality that goes beyond our 5 senses. Did you know that the visible light spectrum is a portion of the electromagnetic radiation that we can actually perceive? It makes up less than 0.0035% of the entire spectrum. Just think about that for a moment. We live in a world where our perception is confined to a tiny fraction, a sliver of what's real. Beyond the visible light spectrum, there are radio waves, microwaves, ultraviolet light, X-rays, gamma rays, and many other frequencies that are imperceptible to the naked eye, but that profoundly affect us. We use these frequencies every day. Radio waves that allow us to communicate across the globe, microwaves that cook our food, and X-rays that reveal what lies beneath our skin. But we can't see them. And if we can't see or feel these wavelengths, what makes us think that interacting within the visible light spectrum is all there is? If you're starting to wonder what else might be out there, type "expand my vision" in the comments below. Now imagine if consciousness, just like electromagnetic waves, exists in a frequency spectrum beyond the limits of our 5 senses. Right? This idea isn't just speculation, it's backed by research into non-local consciousness. Consciousness, as we're beginning to understand it, is not confined to our brains. It extends beyond our bodies, interacting with the quantum field and influencing matter and energies in ways that challenge conventional science. If consciousness is non-local, if it stretches beyond us and is a part of the fabric of the universe itself, why do we limit ourselves to what we can see, hear, touch, smell, taste? We're only interacting with a sliver of what's real. And the possibilities are so much more expansive. Neurodivergent individuals like my daughter could be naturally attuned to these broader dimensions of consciousness, exploring realms that most people don't even know exist. If you're starting to see that reality is much bigger than what we perceive, type reality expanded in the comments. This understanding of the frequency spectrum and non-local consciousness lays the groundwork for something even more powerful, the concept of the etheric universe. In metaphysical traditions, the etheric universe refers to the subtle, non-physical dimensions that exist around and within us. While our physical senses engage with the material world, the mind and spirit can access these higher frequencies. And this is where I believe neurodivergence plays a special role. Neurodivergent individuals who may not always conform to societal norms of attention, focus, or behavior might actually be tuned into these etheric frequencies, these alternate layers of reality. What society labels as distraction or stimming could be the mind's way of engaging with these unseen dimensions. Just like my grandfather meditated to access other realms, my daughter might be naturally accessing the etheric universe through her unique way of being. Imagine a world where instead of trying to fix neurodivergent individuals, we honored their ability to explore consciousness beyond the material world. What would it look like if we saw neurodivergence as a doorway to the etheric realms, a bridge between the seen and the unseen, the physical and the spiritual? If you're ready to honor this potential, type bridge builder in the comment section down below. As someone deeply curious about consciousness, I embarked on my own journey through altered states. From meditation to psychedelics to binaural beats, I experimented with every tool that I could find. And what I discovered is that these so-called altered states are actually more natural than we realize. It's in these states that we access the Akashic records, practice remote viewing, and lift the curtain on what we all call the supernatural. And the truth is, these realms aren't just for mystics. We all have the ability to tap into these dimensions if we're willing to open our minds to them. If you've ever felt like your mind was a universe, type universe inside in the comments. So what do we do with this new understanding? Well, first, we stop assuming that the waking state is the only one that matters. Consciousness is a vast spectrum, and neurodivergent individuals are helping us see what we've been missing. It's time to break free from these limits. Number one, stop fixing, start embracing. Neurodivergent people, like my daughter, don't need to be fixed. They're navigating different realms of consciousness. Who's ready to embrace this with me? Type no more fixing in the comments. Number 2, see the spectrum. Consciousness isn't static, it's fluid and multidimensional. There's so much more to explore beyond the waking state. If you're ready to start exploring, type expand my mind in the comments down below. And number 3, honor every mind. Let's honor the different ways we all experience consciousness, whether it's through dreaming, meditation, or stimming. It's all valid. It's all valid. If you agree, type honor every mind in the comments. Before we close, I'd like to offer something special for those who want to dive deeper into these states of consciousness. For everyone here, I'm offering free access to my Pineal Portal course, a course designed to help you activate your highest potential, access altered states, and unlock the secrets of the mind. It's available on my app, Life in the Bliss Lane. If you're ready to embark on this journey, type Bliss Lane in the comments below, and we'll get you set up with free access. My grandfather's meditations weren't a time out from the world. They were journeys into deeper realms of consciousness. My daughter's neurodivergence isn't a flaw. It's a doorway into those same realms. Consciousness is vast and fluid, and we're only beginning to understand it. If you're ready to explore and honor every state of mind, type ready to explore in the comments down below. Now that you've had a peek into how the consciousness matrix comes up with new ways to understand neurodivergence and altered states of awareness, I want to dive a little bit deeper into this topic through my book, Reimagining Autism. In this book, I expand on the idea that individuals on the autism spectrum may naturally access different dimensions of consciousness that we often overlook or misunderstand. I blend insights from both ancient spiritual wisdom and cutting-edge neuroscience to show how neurodivergent minds can offer access to extraordinary mental and spiritual realms. This book is a call to action, urging society to embrace and celebrate the richness of neurodiverse experiences rather than trying to fix them. It's an invitation to reimagine autism, not as a limitation, but as an opportunity for deeper intellectual, emotional, and spiritual exploration. So if this talk resonated with you, I think you'll find Reimagining Autism a powerful next step in expanding your perspective on neurodiversity and consciousness. Remember, ladies, for access to my course, the Pineal Portal, on my app, Life in the Bliss Lane, type Bliss Lane in the comments below to get set up with access. Type Bliss Lane right now. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to meeting you all on the Bliss Lane.